Well, hey, and welcome to another episode of Beetle Dustino coming at you again today with yet another video. And video I've been really wanting to do for a long time, and I finally feel like my collection is complete enough to do a proper video on this because I want to do the whole shebang. I want to do it all. But I've been slowly collecting all the Beatles promo CDs of just the promotional stuff they'd send to the radio DJs and music press stuff like that. And there's been an interesting little collection here, and I've just been slowly kind of building it up, and I finally feel like I've got the right level here. So I'm sure I'm still missing a thing or two, but I'm close enough. All right, but let's see more of that after the intro. And I'm just going to point this out because I do tend to talk with my hands. You'll notice stuff. And just so that way there's not all these questions, especially this, you'll probably notice this. My last video, I talked about it too, but I was in the hospital. I haven't fallen down the stairs or been beaten by my spouse or something like that. I was in the hospital and had PICC lines and IVs and lab tests and all kinds of stuff. So that's what that is. Just want to get that out of the way right away, so you're not sitting here thinking, what the hell happened to the poor guy? So, well, it was a lot that happened, but there we go. Just in case you didn't see that last video too. But yeah, I've really been excited to kind of do this video. I've been slowly collecting these as a CD collector, a Beatles CD collector. To me, these are kind of the ultimate in the obscure side of it, I guess we could say. I kind of want to say the holy grails in a way, because they are so obscure, but I don't know if they're really holy grails. It's not like any of them are that hard to find, or, I mean, they can be expensive if you look in the wrong places. Little tip on that, stay away from eBay with any of these. eBay is going to charge you through the nose. I would say stick with Discogs. For some reason, Discogs keeps the prices in check. Not that they're not cheap there, or that they are cheap there, but they tend to be a little more fair priced. So that's where I think a lot of these were purchased through, was on Discogs. So I've just slowly been building them. It's kind of interesting, kind of the different designs on the graphics and that on it. Like similar album sleeves and that to what they're promoting, but maybe just slightly different and stuff like that. So some of the artwork is really cool. The disc labels themselves tend to be pretty cool. And just the fact knowing that for promotional use only, not for sale, that's written on there too. But let's start with the first one, and it's just kind of titled 1962 to 1966. The Beatles I guess the Beatles 1962 to 1966. And 1967 to 1970. So this would have came out in, I believe, 1993, promoting the Red and the Blue album coming out on CD for the first time. And really kind of cool. Unfortunately, I wish they would have done something a little more, like maybe split the red and the blue there instead of this gray. But they went with this gray, I guess is this. And they kind of doubled up the images from the Red and the Blue album there. We got the red up top and the guys looking down at them older. I should have been the other way, you'd almost think. And this is the same image pretty much that they used for a lot of the Get Back stuff, didn't they? So that was kind of cool on that. But that was kind of intended to be that way. There's the back on it though. And there isn't a lot to show on some of these with the inside. That's pretty much it. It's just one little page of paper there and just blank on the back, and then there's the disc label on that. And you got what on this one, 6 tracks with this one. So I'll hold the track list there one more time just so you can see that a little better, and just see what's in there. So little more from the Red album than the Blue album, but that is that one. And go into the next year, what was the big product to promote? Would have been Live at the BBC. And here is the Live at the BBC promo sampler here. So a 9-track sampler would have been 1994. This one would have came out. This is for kind of the second one on these CD samplers, is a really cool one. Mine is a little beat up, so I apologize for that, and I got to be really careful opening it up here. But there is the front there. I'll show you quick the spine. and the back. I really love this photo. I love the photo of Live at the BBC in general, but this just them having a little, you know, more fun time here, and that really kind of cool. And this is what everybody loves about this one, is how this one opens up. So we first unfold, we got Paul here, and then we got some write up here from Derek Taylor. Flip it up, and we got John. So really kind of cool how it flips up, and then the track list with the kind of information on each of the tracks there. And then now we flip it this way, and I believe we got George. Yep, there we go. And some more track information there. And now this is where I got to be careful because my little tray came unglued. One of the last times I was showing this, so let me see if I can make sure I can show it with it all folded out. And we got Ringo down there, and there's the disc. And it's unfortunately this digipack, and see, yeah, it did come unglued there. I'll even show you, I guess, there. I'm telling you it's unglued, so why am I trying to hide the fact that it's broken, I guess. But other than that, it's just kind of broken. If you got any suggestions on how I can get that glued back down, I'd love that, because I think this is a good enough copy. I don't need to get it replaced, but I'd love to get this glued back down so I don't got to worry about that. But really nice on the label on the disc, though. We'll just kind of show that one more time there. The Apple label, pretty similar to what they did with the Live at the BBC album itself. Slightly different on the color on the green, though, on it. And this next one, still related with Live at the BBC, and I think this one gets forgotten about a lot if people do videos like this. I remember when I found this, I was like, oh, that is so fun. It's just really fun. Well, this one comes in this envelope. I believe it came in this envelope. I think you can kind of see a little textured there. And the person that had this before just slid it open at the top here. And we pull it out. And we got a greeting card. Baby, it's you. So all white, the little the red candy heart thing there, with the talking heart thing. We'll show you the back here. That's kind of got the information there, and this, yeah, it would have came out in '94 also, kind of as a promotion for the Baby It's You single, which was part of the Live at the BBC. And then we open up the card there, and we got the guys there, and we got your disc in there in a little pouch. And Happy Valentine's Day from us to you. So I'm assuming this would have came out probably in Valentine's Day time. So maybe get that. And I'll pull the disc out here. It just lifts out like that. And very different green apple on that. Really unique one there. So that is that one. I think this one gets forgotten a lot. I don't see this covered a lot. So, but a very unique one. And I really had to find it once I knew about it. So that's what I love about Discogs, digging through Discogs and just, oh, what was that weird thing? Up next, this would have been about 95 now, this one would have came out. And this one, I am missing a little bit of it, so I'll have a picture up here soon showing what it should have been. There's a slip sleeve that it should have came with. But another really interesting one, much like the Live at the BBC, and this is for Anthology 1, the Anthology 1 sampler. It just says Anthology on it, I guess, on that. But there is that little slip sleeve. Now I'll have it up there. That has some weird little Apple stuff and little clip out stuff on it. And unfortunately, it was hard to find it with that slip sleeve, at least at a decent price. I remember when I was looking for this, it was really expensive. And we got, 5 tracks on this one. I'll kind of hold the track list there for you to see. And this is really cool how they did this with the drum kit there, because that's kind of see-through, as you can tell. I think you can kind of see me through it. Kind of hold it there. You can see at least my hand there, maybe. So it just unfolds like this, and really nothing holding this in, but there is a little booklet, and I'll show you the picture there on the fold out. Not quite as elaborate as the Live at the BBC one. Very different disc label on that too. Kind of like capital rainbow label. I don't know what they were really going for on that. It's different, but interesting. And then we got the little booklet here. I'll show you. There's the front and the back of the booklet. And it does say Anthology 1 on here. And then the inside here, just got a few pages, and it's just got some information on each of the tracks that was in there. So there we go. And that's pretty much it there with that one. One thing I noticed on this, now this wouldn't have been put in by somebody. This would have been put in by the record label. I noticed under the spindle hub, and I don't know if it'll show up on there, but there's some little holographic little something or another under the tray there. And that would have been put in by this. I mean, this wouldn't have been, because this tray is in there nice and good. So, but yeah, I noticed that the other day and thought that was a really interesting thing. And I don't know if anybody else has ever noticed that. Let me know if you know that on your copy of this. I'm really kind of curious if something got customized on mine and I'm not realizing or what, but that's really kind of interesting on that. And sticking with Anthology 1, of course, the single from Anthology 1 was Free as a Bird. And here's the Free as a Bird promotional single. So it's not missing an insert. This is exactly how it should be. So you're noticing straight through to the disc label there, through the jewel case. There's the spine in the back there. And only Free as a Bird on there. And yep, promotional use only, not for sale. I've been forgetting to point that out. I absolutely love that though. I think that's funny. And then, yeah, we'll open it up here. Just take a little better look at the disc label there. And I'll pull out the disc too, because there's a little bit going on underneath here. So again, you got the drum kit there with the Anthology 1 and everything. And even here, I don't know if that's the right case for it, but it does say Free as a Bird there, kind of under the little hinge part here. So kind of cool with that. And this would have been out in 95 also on that. And then, of course, we got Anthology 1. Anthology 2 should be following up. And here is Anthology 2's promotional sampler here. This one was a pretty generous one. It looks like there's 10 tracks on this, and this came out in 96 on this one. And it's similar to... actually, the promotional single for Free as a Bird is more related with this than the promotional sampler for Anthology 1. There's the back of the booklet, though, and the disc label. All pretty much sticking with the Apple label. Again, I'll point out the promotional item only, not for sale. Yeah, promotional use only. There we go. And lift out the tray there, and you can see, and then the picture of the guys there kind of under the hinge there. And I'll pull out the booklet on this one, as I believe we got a pretty decent little booklet. Yeah, the promotional use only, not for sale. It's all over the place on these. So a nice little booklet in this one. Very Sgt. Pepper's themed with it, with the colors and everything. So just kind of flip through here to show you quick, but there we go. And then of course we had Free as a Bird with Anthology 1, so Anthology 2 has got Real Love. And this one I've always really liked. It's similar to the Free as a Bird one with no pamphlet or anything. And just the one track on there, just Real Love is the only thing on there. And I'll show you what I really like on this one. What I really love about the Real Love promotional single. So there's the disc label, and it's under the disc label here. I don't know what it is. I really love the apple heart there for the Real Love. Very cool. And then, yeah, there you can see it better. It says Real Love there. Like the Free as a Bird one said Free as a Bird, but for some reason it's got that ribbed hinge cover over it there. This one's got the smooth one, so you can actually see it there. Kind of continuing on, in 1996 also, that was also from 1996, and we get Anthology 3 promotional sampler here. This one not quite as generous as 2's. We only got 5 tracks on this one. But there is the cover on it. They've all used kind of the same theme, just kind of changing up the colors a bit here. And then there's the back with the track list there. And of course it says somewhere on there, I'm sure, promotional use only, not for sale. There it is. And then there is the back of the booklet with the picture of the guys there and the disc label. I'll show you under the disc label there. And I'll pull the booklet out. Let's take a quick look at it out of the jewel case there. There's a picture of the guys there and some information there. Derek Taylor. Quote there. And just some information on the tracks in there, the 5 tracks. That's pretty much it. We must not have had anything for a few years because we skipped from 96 to 99. And we got the Yellow Submarine Songtrack promotional sampler here. And it looks very similar to the album itself. I will admit that. The front here, they really didn't do a lot different. And just on initial glance, it's hard to see, but the album, of course, came in I got some weird stain there. There's the track list, though, on what you get with it. So 4 tracks on this one. The album was a jewel case. When it got reissued a few years later, well, several years later, came out in a digi sleeve. This is a digi pack. So that's going to be one of your biggest kind of tells on this. No booklet or anything. All your information is right there in the fold out here. Disc label there. Of course, it does have the promotional use only, not for sale on there, you can see. And there's the disc label. And I'll show you under the tray, but there's really nothing under the tray. And I always love the packaging with the Yellow Submarine Songtrack, how when you open it up, you get kind of your full picture there, always on it. And this one was kind of my holdout on, this was the last one that I just recently received. So Let It Be, or Yellow Submarine Soundtrack was kind of next. So in 2003, we would have, in 99 on that, in 2003, we would have had Let It Be Naked. I'm really surprised there isn't anything for one. I really looked, there isn't anything for one. So it's that's what we're kind of skipping here. But yeah, here's the Let It Be Naked little promo sampler thing, which is just a single for Let It Be, taken from the upcoming Let It Be Naked. It says down there at the bottom. And see, just pretty plain white sleeve here. I can't even really call it a digi sleeve because, well, I suppose it is though, isn't it? It is still a digi sleeve, but there's the back with all the information there. And this one was made in Holland. It looks like I still got the shrink wrap over it. The guy I bought it from still had the shrink wrap on it. It was open, but still in the shrink. So that's a nice thing to have there, I suppose. No hype sticker or anything, but nice to see the made in Holland there. And there's the disc label on it. And it's just Let It Be on that with the naked version of Let It Be. Moving from 2003 to 2004, we got our next one here, which will be the Capitol Albums Volume 1 sampler. This is a pretty generous little sampler. I really like what they did with putting the album covers, the 4 album covers from the Capitol Albums Volume 1. So Meet the Beatles, Beatles' second album. Wow, they got me in. They're already in such a weird order here. Beatles' second album, Something New. Beatles 65. And then just kind of the Capitol Albums Volume 1 logo there in the middle. Kind of cool how they did that. It's in the exact same kind of sleeve as you got the main albums in. So it's got a little bit of a spine, nothing on it, just that kind of the rainbow label look there. And there's the back, and you can see this is very generous here because we got 16 tracks. And it does the stereo and mono just like they did on that. So, and I believe if you've got the stereo or version, you've also got the mono version. So you get each track kind of mirrors. So I guess you really only got 8 songs, but 16 tracks. I guess 8 mixes of, or yeah, you know where I'm going there. So I think some of my hospital stuff is still messing with me though. But yeah, it says on the back here, in stores November 16th of 2004 for the box set there. And I'll show you the sleeve, or the label there outside of the sleeve. So kind of going with that Capitol rainbow label look there. Very nice, very cool little sampler there. And then moving from 04 to 06, and we've got the Capitol Albums Volume 2 sampler. And pretty much same deal. We got the album covers here. So Beatles 6, Early Beatles, Help, Rubber Soul. I think we went totally different order here now because it should be Early Beatles, Help, Beatles, I don't know, something like that. No, yeah, it should be. They got it in the right order this time. So Early Beatles, Beatles 6, Help, Rubber Soul. I think that should be correct there. That would be the 4 albums in the box there. And show you the spine here yet again. Does have a little bit of a spine, but nothing written on it. And there's the back with the track listing there. I'll hold it there. Once again, you get your stereo and mono versions there. And then there is the disc label. And staying in 2006, we got up next the Love 4-track sampler. So this would be for the Beatles' Love, Cirque du Soleil Songtrack, and a little 4-track sampler. And this is what I said at the beginning here. I mentioned about how I like how they kind of flip some of the graphics on it. So where usually you got the yellow on this, you got the white with the red there on the logo there and everything. Yeah, just really kind of a cool look, kind of a different alternate look. You see in fine print down there, the promotional use only, not for sale. Actually, it says license for promotional use only, see package for details. There we go. So really not much of a spine on this, so I'll just kind of flip it here. It's just the simple little sleeve. But there's the track list on that with the 4 tracks. So you got, yeah, Strawberry Fields Forever, Octopus's Garden, Lady Madonna, and While My Guitar Gently Weeps, all in the Love version, of course. But yeah, really nice little one here. And then the disc label, we don't even get the paint around it. We got the logo painted up, but the rest of it's just the CD silver there, which is really kind of cool. And one thing that I love about Love is they've got 2 promotional items here that came out. So this one's a little bit different, though. It is an interview disc, an interview CD, the Love interview CD. Promo use only, not for sale. I do see that on the back on this one. This one we did get in a jewel case in 2006 also on this. And I know it's got interviews with, let's see, this CD contains edited extracts from interviews with Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, Sir George Martin, and his son Giles Martin, where they talk about the Love album. The interviews were recorded in October of 2006. So there you go. I'll let you take a look at that again there. And again, like I said, I love the kind of the color flips and that on this. And this one completely its own thing with this kind of this dark blue and kind of this orangish red. Really kind of cool with the Love logo there. And then I'll show you here with the back of the booklet there, pamphlet, and the disc label again, just kind of the CD silver there, but with the blue with the Love instead of the red there. And you got your Apple logos, capital, all that. Not much really below there. Some little bit of graphics from the Love stuff. And I will pull this out because it isn't it does fold open. Let's see, I'll show you outside of the box here, and you're kind of getting the back side of what's there, but it's kind of the track list with all the different interview clips there. So you want to pause that and see what's all in there. Pretty interesting little disc though. I just, due to the graphics on it, I thought this was worth getting. Just so cool on that. But then getting to listen to all the interviews and everything too, a lot of fun. Now this one I think is one of the most puzzling of these, as it really doesn't promote a CD package of any sort or an LP, anything like that. I think it's promoting the DVD release of Help, and specifically that big box set that came out. I had the what's in the box of it a long time ago, with, you know, the nice book that you got with it. You got the 2 CDs, I believe, in there. Seemed like there was something else, but yeah, it was a really nice package. The copy of the script and stuff like that. But this is the Help 7-song radio sampler. So really kind of interesting on this, and it's the tracks from the film, the 7 songs from the film. So it's basically half the Help album, the UK Help album. And I think that is what it's promoting. Really interesting. So it is just the album cover pretty much, with a little bit of add-ons at the bottom there, and then this at the side with the EMI Apple stuff. Does have a spine on it, so there we go. And I'll show you the back here with everything. A lot going on the back there. And there's the track and everything. And this one's got a gatefold with a really nice picture on the inside. I really like that picture. So this is a really interesting one. I was really wanting to get this when I learned about it, because it seemed like it was just such an oddball. And the disc does come out the middle there, as you just watched me do. And there is the disc label on it. So really kind of an interesting one. Oh, we got the Mac Daddy of all of these. I think this is probably the ultimate of the promotional samplers right here. But this is the 090909 sampler. And of course, this would be get the sampler for the stereo box set that came out. And I think to a degree the mono box set, and to a degree the Beatles Rock Band in a way, because it's I mean, all that came out that day, but the black with the white instead of the white with the black, it does tell me it's a stereo, plus all this is the stereo remasters on this. So a nice little package, and this is a 2-disc sampler, and it's quite a compilation onto its own there. So we got, what, 16 songs per disc. So pretty jam-packed little compilation onto its own there. And I think a pretty good compilation, too, if you look at what the tracks that they picked here. I think this would pass a lot of people's test here. And we open it up, and it does a pretty good job just advertising what's coming here with the stereo box set there. Hold it there for the gatefold. And then each disc really did a cool job, too. We got the Parlophone on disc 1, the 090909 sampler. And then disc 2 is on the Apple label, the 090909 sampler. But really cool sampler. I used to keep this in my stereo box set, but now I've got the kind of the collection here with all the promo stuff, and I want all this kind of housed together, so I've been keeping it with them. But it does fit nicely in your box set if you do want to go that route with it. Getting towards the end, I knew this was going to be a long one. I think there's about 19 discs or so here. I'm not sure. I can't remember off the top of my head. But so we're moving from 2009 to 2013. And we got On Air Live at the BBC Volume 2 sampler. And this is the one to get of them. However, I like the cover on the other one. There's actually 2 different samplers that came out. I think one was in the US and one was in the UK, but I cannot figure out, reading the backs on these, which one was which. But this one has got 14 tracks on it, so a pretty good little track list. A little spine on it there. There's a digi sleeve on this one. There's the back with the track list and everything there, the album cover. And this one does have a gatefold and a really nice picture of the guys here. Ooh, almost lost it there. All right, there we go. No booklet or anything. We'll show you the disc label here. And there we go. That kind of white label with the black lettering. Even a black apple there. Interesting. So, and as promised, there were 2 from the On Air Live at the BBC Volume 2. And here is the second one. This one I like the cover a little better with the picture of the guys there. The 4 different pictures of the guys. Kind of a la Let It Be in a way, but way earlier than that, I guess. And this is only a 5-track sampler on this one, and it's just the sleeve, no gatefold or anything on it. And there's the back with the track list and everything. And let's take a look at the disc label on this. So that other one was white with black, and this is black with white. Slightly different on everything there, but still cool. It looks like we're to the last one here, so we're 2014 now. And this will be for the US albums. So the US albums sampler. And I've still got this one in the shrink also. I think the seller had it still in the shrink also. No hype sticker or anything, but if the shrink's there, I'm going to leave it there. And so just kind of a picture of the cover of the box, like you would have got just the add-on with that there at the bottom. And pretty generous one on this too, because you got 25 tracks on it. So pretty big one for track length there. And you do get a stereo and a mono on a lot of it, but I don't think you're getting, if you get the song, it's not like you're getting the stereo and mono version of the song. It's just they kind of picked and choose. Some get stereo, some get mono, and you'll see it all marked there. So you want to kind of pause and take a look there at what the track listing is. That is what you get there with the 25 tracks. So pretty generous there. And then picture of the box there. And let's take a look at the label on this. Really nice blue with white. Great looking little label on it. So yeah, that should do it for my collection here. And like I said, I know I'm not complete. I think I'm pretty close, especially for anything US, UK, European. I think there's some Asian market ones here and there, but they're really obscure, hard to find, and really expensive if you do find them. So there might be just a handful of those, but let me know if you do know that there is some that I'm missing. Just CDs. I'm not looking, vinyl or anything like that. Just CD samplers, promo stuff like that. The one thing I know people will probably mention, and I'll mention it here, as I'm kind of holding out to do a video of them separate. I've actually already kind of done a video on them, but I'm missing one of kind of with these here. But there was those Summer of Love singles that would have came out, and they had the promos that were printed up, and technically I don't think they were even issued out as a promo. And I've got the 3 of those, but there's also the I Want to Hold Your Hand. I Saw Her Standing There single one that came out a few years before those. And that one I'd love to get a hold of yet. That's my kind of missing one. And I kind of feel those are more lumped with themselves, those 4 there, than they are with these, even though they are promo ones. But I didn't include those in there because I am missing the one. And I have recently shown those others. And I feel like their story kind of matches more with that than it matches with this, because they weren't really promoting. Well, I guess they were going to promote a single that was coming out, but a reissued single, but not, like an album or a box set or something like that. So yeah, I just chose not to include those for right now. But anyways, that is what I've got. I've really had fun collecting this collection. It's a really interesting collection. Me being the CD collector, to me, these are kind of the crown jewels kind of your Beatles CD collection, of your hardcore Beatles CD collection, kind of a completist. These are the kind of the obscure, odd ones to try to find, and I've had fun tracking them down. So, and really kind of interesting to look at each of the different ones, how they kind of did it different. I know some of these did come with press releases, big press kits, like a folder with all kinds of other stuff too. I don't think all of them did, but I know a few of them did. And I didn't really, I'm more for the disc, I guess, so I didn't really get all that. But yeah, just really kind of fun looking at all the different images and stuff, and the fun ones like the Live at the BBC one, how that folded out and everything, and just kind of little hidden gems that you find, like the little chrome hologram thing in the Anthology one. And let me know on that if that's something that should be there, or if somebody stuck that through the spindle and put it in there on mine, or what's going on there. But I happened to notice that the other day and went, oh wow, that's kind of cool. But anyways, I'm going to get fully wrapping up though. Before I do though, I want to once again thank all my subscribers, and thanks to any new subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And do hit the notification bell so you know when I got new videos coming out. Also, please give the video a like. Like I always say, if you've stuck around to this point, you must like it. So please give it a like. It really does help out the channel and everything, and the video. So please give it a like, and do leave a comment. I love having a discussion with everybody. Let me know your thoughts on these Beatles promo CDs. Do you have any of these? Do you collect any, or you got a couple of them, or still looking for your first one there? Are you afraid the record company is going to come and take them away from you, because technically they're not yours and they're not supposed to be for sale? Anyways, I'm going to get fully signing out. I am Beetle Dustino, signing out.